For the 8th edition of American Sunlight News podcast, we're going to tone it down some. Not so many pictures, maybe the music will be a little shorter, and we're just going to go straight to the subject matter and leave it at that. I will be reading, verbatim, what Mark wrote on his latest post on the American Sunlight News website, entitled, "We Don't Have to Apologize for Anything," where Mark details the game that the political opposition to us, in general, and, pretty much, the corrupt news media, plays. Again, the title is, "We Don't Have to Apologize for Anything." This is Mark's words now. The "we" in the title means the loyal opposition trying to make a government that is answerable to and responsible to the people, and trying to unelect all the rascals that happen to have an elected official title next to their name. Yes, we're the loyal opposition saying this, and we have our flaws, who doesn't? That doesn't mean we have to keep our heads bowed and stay in the shadows. To the contrary, we need to be bold, vigorous, outspoken, and out front. When the friends and allies of the rascals in government and their corrupt media friends try to downgrade us and make us look small and meaningless, we need to understand that it is part of their game to win elections constantly or to help their allies win elections constantly, while laughing all the way to the bank, as if they didn't have flaws of their own, and substantial flaws at that. I have to admit that it perturbs me when some voters fall for the propaganda, so much so, that a lot of them don't even believe that propaganda exists. I remember a long time ago when I was trying to convince a woman to either sign my petition or vote for me, but the second that I used the word propaganda when talking about the opposition's tactics, she abruptly walked away from me, as if that was a bridge too far to think something like that about today's politicians. Are you kidding me? Someone like Adam Smith, the congressman from my district, for example, he's a scoundrel who voted for two of some of the most outrageous examples of bad policy in American history. Smith voted for the Iraq War and voted to end the post-Great Depression Glass-Steagall reforms that put common-sense controls on banks. The latter came first in the late 1990s, and his vote on the Iraq War was in 2002. My position was exactly reverse of both of those disastrous votes that Smith made. Smith's banking vote, which almost caused a Great Depression in the late 0 years, which undoubtedly would have led into the 10 years, Smith's Iraq vote was a great tragedy that destabilized the Middle East and Europe. Of course, when I try to prove the veracity of my contrary opinions at the exact time of Adam Smith's 2002 congressional vote, through the Library of Congress captures of my Alaska Congressional Campaign website, including updates, I wasn't running against Smith that year, but Don Young, are either difficult or impossible to get onto, as of late, but the link is on my official Director of Elections campaign website. Amazingly, LOC worked today when I tried it. So, newsman Tucker Carlson was right, recently, when he said, in so many words, that people have to get past all the noise and find the truth somehow if we're going to save the country. By noise, he meant tricks and propaganda.
Postscript: I was reading the very first Library of Congress capture, on August 9, 2002, of my O2 congressional campaign website, just a minute ago.
I don't like to brag, but it's amazing the amount of policy detail that I put into that first website, when websites were pretty much a new thing at the time. No pictures on it except for one little one of me. Most politicians, especially the elected ones, put junk on their sites. Although, in recent years, I have to admit that I do not get that detailed on websites, because I've learned that most voters, probably not even 3%, even visit these websites. In 2002, I had this naive perception that at least 50% of voters would at least glance at my website. Yeah, right. Even those handful of voters that visit campaign websites, they probably just want to get a basic idea of how the candidate thinks, not necessarily wanting to delve into long dissertations of policy. Thank you for listening to Mark's recent post, and we hope that you'll be back with us again, soon, for another edition of American Sunlight News Podcast. By the way, today is pretty much the last pitch, pre-filing for the office, that we will make for donations for Mark's Director of Elections campaign. To tell you the truth, we're falling short of donations to get Mark on the ballot, so, if you can donate now is your last opportunity to do so and help with getting him on the ballot. At this point, the donations need to be substantial. Mark needs at least $2,000 by Friday, May 19th, and it doesn't get more succinct than that. If you can donate, please go to the Friends of Mark Green for Director of Elections section of this website and find the GoFundMe link on there. If you happened upon this podcast by other than the website, please write to us at partyofcommons@yahoo.com so that you can get the information necessary for donating or to make any queries to the campaign that you want to. Again, that email address is partyofcommons@yahoo.com. We're now signing off of American Sunlight News Podcast. Strength, honor, and nation. God bless you.